Alright, so here I'm going to go over hydrated ionic compounds. And a hydrated ionic compound is an ionic compound that contains a certain number of water molecules associated with each formula unit. So this is an example of a hydrated ionic compound. So here we have the ionic compound. What's the name of this stuff? Could you name it? If you need a video on how to name ionic compounds, I do have a video for that. So the name of this compound, we call that cobalt. See if I can get a marker that works here. This is cobalt 2 chloride. And these 6 water molecules here, these are called waters of hydration. So in this hydrated ionic compound, 6 water molecules are associated with every formula unit of cobalt 2 chloride. These 6 water molecules are called waters of hydration. And to name a hydrated ionic compound, all you do is just take the number in front of the water molecules and you turn it into a Greek prefix. So the prefix for 1 would be mono. The prefix for di would be 2, for tri it would be 3, for 4 it would be tetra, and so on and so forth throughout this table. Okay? So we transform this coefficient into a prefix, and then we just attach the word hydrate. So this would be cobalt 2 chloride hexahydrate. So let's do a couple of examples where we go back and forth between names and formulas. So let's start out with a name, and then we'll try to write the formula for the hydrate. So how about barium hydroxide, and it's going to be barium hydroxide octahydrate. So what is the formula for barium hydroxide octahydrate? Well, the formula for just good old barium hydroxide would be BaOH2. So that's the formula for barium hydroxide when it's not hydrated. And just another terminology issue. When something is not hydrated, we call that anhydrous. So barium hydroxide without any water molecules associated with each formula unit is called anhydrous barium hydroxide. But of course we want the formula for barium hydroxide octahydrate. So if we want the formula for barium hydroxide octahydrate, we put a raised dot, and then the prefix octa means 6, or excuse me, 8. So 8 H2O. So the formula for barium hydroxide octahydrate is BaOH2 raised dot 8 H2O. Now let's try to do one where we're given the formula and we have to name it. So CaSO4 dot 1/2 H2O. What is the name of this? So first, let's just name the ionic compound if it were anhydrous. In other words, let's just worry about naming it as if there are no waters of hydration on it. So the name of this compound would be calcium sulfate. But then we have this 1/2 H2O over here, and we have to name that somehow. And the prefix for 1/2 is actually hemi. And I didn't put it on this sheet, but the Greek prefix associated with 1/2 of something is hemi. So this would be calcium sulfate hemihydrate. So there you go. There's just a little lesson on hydrated ionic compounds.